Iran has warned the US that it's only getting started following attacks in the UAE and the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump said the US military shot down 7 Iranian fast boats as 2 American-flagged cargo boats were guided through the strait. But the Pentagon insists the ceasefire is not over.
This was Tehran's response to Donald Trump's Project Freedom, according to Iranian state media. US military claimed 2 American-flagged merchant ships had successfully transited the Strait of Hormuz and that Navy destroyers were helping restore shipping traffic. But with up to 20,000 seafarers stranded on roughly 2,000 ships in the Gulf, according to the International Maritime Organization, at that rate it would take years to clear the backlog. The UAE said it's dealing with fresh attacks today after an Iranian strike hit the Fujairah petroleum industry zone, and the Emiratis have threatened to respond. But the Pentagon insisted the ceasefire is not over, arguing that this is a separate military operation.
Project Freedom is defensive in nature, focused in scope, and temporary in duration, with one mission: protecting innocent commercial shipping from Iranian aggression. American forces won't need to enter Iranian waters or airspace. It's not necessary.
Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi warned that there was no military solution to the crisis, saying Project Freedom is Project Deadlock. Iran's Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf said the recent attacks were just the start and that Tehran knows the current situation is intolerable for America. But President Trump played down Iran's military abilities.
Even shooting those boats, they've got 3-4 guys. They got a little machine gun in front. They're shooting at one of our ships that's meant for it. It bounces, they don't even know they're being shot at. And then they take it out with an Apache helicopter in about 2 seconds.
However, Iran's threat of fast boats, drone attacks, cruise missiles and sea mines is still enough to close the strait, despite US military dominance. And the rhetoric on both sides suggests a return to violence is more likely than a political breakthrough. Fergal Gallagher, RTE News.
Returning now to the Strait of Hormuz, the vital shipping route where around 2,000 vessels have been stuck since Iran was bombed by the US and Israel in February. Just before coming on air, I spoke to John Staupert from the International Chamber of Shipping, which is a global association for ship owners and operators. I began by asking him if the US plan to escort ships from the Strait is working.
So I think there's a great deal of caution amongst the shipping community at the moment. Obviously, 2 vessels were overseen by the US Navy transiting out of the region yesterday, but we're not seeing a huge amount of movement at the moment. I think the reason for that is that there's a great deal of uncertainty as what the terms of Project Freedom actually are. Who do we talk to in the region to ensure the ships can transit, and what guarantees are there that if an incident occurs, if ships do come under attack, if they, heaven forfend, hit a mine, will there be a military response from the US? And we need those answers before ships will have the confidence and crews will have the confidence to begin transiting out of the Gulf.
And you've touched on it there, there are 2,000 ships in that region. But what are the risks for them at the moment?
I've mentioned the mine risk. We've been told that the traffic separation scheme in the Strait has been mined by Iran. There were also reports of mines in Omani waters, which is concerning. Obviously, yesterday and Sunday, we saw 3 attacks against merchant ships by Iran. And so the threat is very real and the risk to shipping is very real. And that's at the forefront of ship owners thinking, particularly the risk to life of the seafarers who have been stuck in these waters for over 2 months now. And it's their welfare that is our predominant concern.
And I'd like to talk about that more in a moment. But I wonder, for the ship owners and the operators, can they attempt to move? Will their insurers allow them to move? Is there an option to pay tolls to Iran to move?
So the ships are insured. I'm not entirely sure what the insurance market's attitude is to Project Freedom. I've not seen anything from them since the announcement yesterday. But although it's more expensive, these ships are covered for the time being. Tolls were mentioned as a possible means to enable the movement of shipping. This is, however, in contravention of international law. There's no facility under UNCLOS for the payment of tolls to transit what is an international waterway, and we think to do so would set a very, very dangerous precedent and undermine the rules-based order. So we don't believe that tolls is the solution to this current impasse.
And you mentioned the welfare of the seafarers. We understand there are around 20,000 of them in the Strait of Hormuz that have been stranded there for up to 8 weeks. How are they managing for supplies, food, water?
So the seafarers are being supplied with stores for their vessels. They have food and water. They have fuel for the ships. This is more expensive for the ship owner, but it's a price that the industry is willing to pay. The seafarers are also subject to wage agreements through something called the International Bargaining Forum. So they should be on at least double wages, and they have a right to repatriation. Although obviously that's very difficult given the circumstances in the region. But our main concern is that this has now been going on for 2 months. And whilst these are incredibly resilient people who do an extremely tough job, everybody is aware that that will start to take a psychological toll and a mental toll on them. And so it's really, really important that their welfare is looked after, that they have contact with their families, and in the longer term that we find some mechanism to at the very least ensure that these vessels and these seafarers can be evacuated safely.
The vessels that are stuck in the Strait of Hormuz, obviously everybody's aware of the shortage of fuel, but what other kinds of goods are on those vessels?
So you mentioned tankers, which gets the most focus given the amount of cargo that is shipped from the Gulf. It's about 20% of the world's oil cargo, but also a third of the world's fertilizer is shipped from the Gulf, and that has a knock-on effect as particularly the Global South looks to its sowing season. There are a number of initiatives underway to see if it's possible to get those vessels out. There is containerized cargo, obviously going into the region, and so really, it's every cargo that you can think of that would normally go around the world is in some way affected by this. In saying that, it is 1,000 seagoing vessels, maybe 2,000, depending on the size, out of 100,000. And shipping has been resilient in its response to this crisis, and the ability of shipping to move to new markets and to access markets in a variety of ways, I think, has lessened the overall economic impact globally.
John Stoppert, Marine Director of the International Chamber of Shipping, thank you for speaking to us on 6-1 this evening.